I'm putting the caveats on the sign of caution. I'll put the caveats on the other side as well, because just because artillery shelling is currently not going on, nobody can guarantee that it will not start in the next 10 minutes, in the next 10 hours, in the next 2 hours. So, the reversal also remains true, that just because it settled down right now might not indicate that it is done. So, all caveats in place, and we will have to take this like we have for the past several days, with a lot of care and caution, but with the understanding that the situation remains fluid. What holds good right now may not hold good 5 minutes from now, what it is troubling, because we have taken for granted, at least in imagination, that a decision made by a solid command and control structure is implemented within minutes, and then that is it, a decision made. But when you come to machinations and rogue elements, which is not how we operate, I promise you, if a ceasefire had been announced in New Delhi and an artilleryman had even mistakenly broken it, he would have been in a lot of trouble, even though he is probably really upset, having had faced casualties and artillery barrages over the last couple of days. Our system works completely differently. The Pakistani system clearly works completely differently. Now, we have to make assumptions, Patikrit. Now, this is not happening in ghost town, it is not happening in alien land. This is being reported, it will be reported all over the world, that the ceasefire broke down within 3.5 hours. And what are the Pakistanis going to do? They are going to blame us.
You know, Rishabh, I had a problem when it was Donald Trump who was the first to tweet that ceasefire.
Not the best kind of diplomatic positioning by Donald Trump. Not the best. Not smartly, smoothly done.
I think, and the problem is Donald Trump and the US administration and the Western powers have been trying to hyphenate India and Pakistan in the same bracket. That is the problem. So tomorrow, when the news will come out about this ceasefire violation, the same narrative will be used.
It will be both sides. You're right. It will be both sides violated the ceasefire. You're right. That's what it will be.
That is the problem, and that's why, beyond the point, we should never trust the Americans so far as these things are concerned. I really don't understand why it was not the External Affairs Ministry and instead Donald Trump tweeting first. That is a very big issue.
No, I can predict it. I can tell you that people in the echelons are very unimpressed by the fact that this tweet has gone out before the Indian press conference. Are very unimpressed. We are giving pains to put out the information, but of course it becomes, because Donald Trump is the US president. He has claimed credit. I did this. I was up all night and I negotiated the ceasefire. This was me. Okay. And he's announced it to the world, and that's how you're told as a country from Washington that you've gotten a ceasefire. Until you have a chance to address your own people, that is unimpressive for sure, Patikrit.
Absolutely, and tomorrow he would claim that he was the one who prevented the Fatah missiles from coming to Delhi, and that is the problem. So I think we should completely keep away these Western powers. I reiterate, yesterday's loan was sanctioned by IMF by evening. We were discussing it, Rishabh, and by night they were launching the tactical ballistic missiles. So I think it was not because of Donald Trump, it was not because of the loan, but for the next 12 hours, the kind of pummeling that, pulverizing that Indian Air Force did into the heart of Pakistan's air defense systems and air bases, that got them shocked completely, and they came pleading. But it was only a matter of time that they would have healed and come back to do exactly the same thing. The only problem is we did not expect it to happen within 2 hours. That is the only issue. Otherwise, I'm not surprised by what they have done. It is, everybody in this country is talking about that. We have the highest respect for the government of India. No problem with the sincerity of Modi government. But you're dealing with a rogue state. In spite of your best intentions, this is exactly what they have tried to do. I think the Pakistanis have become more efficient, that you can say that now they do exactly in 2 hours. They don't take 20 days. And by now, I'm sure they have put in the SSG guys to have another terror attack, and then the Western media would say, look, this again happened, it was the Indians who did it, and just that same nonsense will go on. Again a war will happen, they will again go and ask for ceasefire, and we will again oblige them. We have been doing it from the time of Prithviraj Chauhan. I call it a Prithviraj Chauhan syndrome we are suffering
Okay,
from.
all right. Okay,
Sorry.
I know. Trust me, emotions are running high for all sorts of practical reasons. Totally understandable. So are mine, and I'm trying to remain cautiously optimistic, but very realist. And this is realism as it exists. That yes, that's what will happen. The Pakistanis are going to say, "Oh well, you started it." Okay, and then we'll try to say, no, here is the evidence, this is the satellite imagery showing, here is the telecommunication showing that you ordered it, here's the first drone, here is the intact drone that we've recovered with all its telemetry that shows that you fired it. Okay, and then they say, no, we didn't fire any drone. They did that 2 days ago. They said that they've made no attack on any area, they didn't even shell across the LoC, they did nothing. Is the same story of the crows of Balakot, is the same story, but at an exponential scale. You have tried to do a 400 drone incursions, you have been doing an artillery barrage for 3 to 4 hours, you yourselves are being hit, and then you say, no, nothing happened. That's not true. It's see social media, it's not. In fact, we did nothing. So one side you're saying nothing, the other side you're saying we have bombed Delhi. Okay, we've destroyed this command. Is the okay, irrational actors. So now let's address it. General Asthana. So we are dealing yet again. We've been confirmed irrational actors. Now, other than frustration and harassment, because that's what it is, they're not doing any serious damage here. They've caused casualties yesterday. They are all painful casualties, but they haven't debilitated us in any way. So, this is harassment to achieve what purpose?
Firstly, I must give some correction to what we were discussing.
Please.
It is certainly not for putting or sending terrorists inside. It could be one of the reasons, but whatever is happening, if the drones are in Gujarat, then obviously they are not for terrorists. And drones in Rajasthan, they got nothing to do with terrorists. So therefore, it's a deliberate effort and it's a deliberate violation. You are right, Rishabh, when you said that they would be saying that either we didn't do anything or it was started by India. Now that is the second part of it. The third part is that they have kept it limited to some extent so far. We don't know whether it is going to be like that or otherwise. Fourthly, I agree with General Sivaj that it is not that we would have kept quiet. We would have certainly responded. And if the RT shelling has not crossed or the shells have not crossed over, that means nobody would have started it. Otherwise, if had they started, I'm sure we would have also started off. So we are, firstly, one thing which we can assure the nation is, we are very clear that Indian Army, for a ceasefire violation and a firing on LC, doesn't have to take anybody's permission. We are supposed to respond the moment the firing takes place. So there, be rest assured that whatever they are doing, that would have been responded to for absolutely, whether we agree with ceasefire, we don't agree with ceasefire, or whatever has happened between Washington and New Delhi in the political circle, that is a separate issue. Now coming back to what we can do or what we should do. As a realist, as far as I am concerned, this conversation and this issue of that Pakistan and India have agreed to ceasefire, I assume that it never happened. It's as simple as that. So we are back to where we were, and we should plan the next step in the escalation ladder accordingly. And there is no doubt. Yesterday also, I think if you recall, Rishabh, when we were conversing, we were showing a fair amount of anger for not getting the essential kind of information which can lead to speculations. Now also, if there has been a ceasefire violation, I am sure in this information age, there should have been some announcement somewhere that yes, ceasefire has been violated and Indian army is responding.
Okay,
Now,
okay, all right. I'll tell you what's going on. What I'm doing here. We
yeah.
are in touch at all levels, down to the local BSF commanders, army commanders.